We'll start with getting Zotero set up. Then we'll dive into databases. Then we'll come back to Zotero to organize what we found. You should have already set up your online account and downloaded the Zotero app. If you haven't done that, stop this tutorial now and follow the steps outlined on the Canvas page. Here, I've got the Zotero app open. The first thing we're going to do is sync our accounts. This is important as syncing allows your online account and your app to always be the same. Syncing is available via the reference pane at the top of the Zotero app. If we go to Edit and then Preferences, under General, here's where you can choose to download PDFs automatically. Note that this fills up your storage more quickly, so you may not want to do this. Sync is where you set up automatic sync with the online version. Enter your Zotero username and password here. Export is where you can choose a default citation style to use. You can change this other places so you're not bound by it. Cite is where you can add additional citation styles. And then under word processors, you can install the Word plugin. This is helpful as it allows you to write papers and cite from Zotero. If we click the OK at the bottom, we've saved those. Continuing with the top nav, File allows you to create a new item or a new collection. You can also do that via the File button or the green plus sign. Help has a lot of support and documentation should you need it. If you have accepted the Group Zotero folder invitation, you should see it in the left-hand navigation. If you don't see it, don't worry. Once you accept the group invitation, it will appear. And you can always add resources to your individual folders and then drag and drop them into the group folder. To create a new collection, click the folder icon. Note that whichever folder you've used most recently, resources added to Zotero will dump into that folder automatically. Let's pause for a minute with Zotero, step back, and focus on researching a topic. In this class, you're studying 5 tribes, and you need to find information about these sources. How do you do this? First, it's important to think about the research process. This is available at the research guide for your course, which is linked from your Canvas course site. I've broken the process into 5 steps for ease of explanation, but note that your process may look different, and that's okay. Everyone's research process is a little unique. Step 1, your question or topic, in this case, your tribe. Step 2 is finding background information on your topic. In this case, the background research is crucial because the language used to refer to the tribes hasn't always been the same. So in order to find relevant material on your tribe, you may need to use different search terms. You can find these alternative, older, or out-of-date names through a Google search. If we search for Potawatomi, for example, even our language here is variable. You could search for Indians, Potawatomi Native Americans, and if we look at the Wikipedia page, you can instantly see the varied spellings of the name, as well as what they call themselves. All these variations may be useful when looking for sources. What types of sources and where might you find them? Step 3 is finding materials. Using the terms you identified in Step 2, you want to think about where to find different types of sources and what terms to use to find them. For this brief demo, we'll be looking for articles and books, both of which can include local history and ethnographies. The research guide for this class has a list of resources for finding different types of sources. We have a lot of databases we can choose from to find sources. Be sure to examine the scope of the database so you're not looking for something where it might not be found. For example, you won't find articles about European history in America History and Life. Let's start with JSTOR to find articles. If we search for a lot of variations of the spelling of the name, we'll get all the results that have that variation. Now let's bring Zotero back into the mix. While you're in the database searching, you can easily import your results into Zotero. While you're on the search results page, click the little icon in the upper right corner. Depending on the source type, for example, web page article, it can look a little different. In this case, it's a folder. Click it and you can see a pop-up appears, which allows you to choose which sources you want to add to your folder. Check which ones you want, click OK, and they'll be added to your folder. If we click into a specific item, Then the icon changes to a document. And now we're just adding the one source to our Zotero folder. Now let's go back and find books. You find books using IUCAT. If we do the same search, we can see we get all sorts of results. And here too, you can add your results to a Zotero. If you're off campus and can't get to campus, the best way to search is for ebooks at Indianapolis. So narrow to ebooks and then campus, Indianapolis. Unfortunately, we can't mail books to remote students at this time. However, if you're close enough to get to IUPUI, you can get any book. You can also search for articles and books from the library homepage. So if we go to the library homepage, here's how you search for IUCAT, and here are all our databases. While we're in the databases, let's stop for a second to think about step 4 of the research process, evaluating information. You often do this at the same time you do step 3. Here is where you want to think, what type of source is it? Is it credible? Is it appropriate? For example, is it out of date? Step 5 is writing and citing, and this is where we'll dive back into Zotero. So now we're at step 5 of the research process, writing and citing. And for this, we're back in Zotero. First, one technical thing. You'll want to look at the information that was imported to make sure things look okay. Sometimes information gets imported incorrectly, and if you use that information to create a bibliography, it will be wrong. Editing an entry is pretty straightforward. Just click on the information you want to change. From here, you can also add notes. Now let's create a bibliography from Zotero. There are several ways to do this. In the website, if you click into your profile and then your library, if you check the items that you want to add in one of your folders, then you click the little cite icon in the top right, choose your citation style, and they instantly come up and you can cut and paste this into a document. Another way is from your app, if you're on the folder, right-click and you create a bibliography from the citation. And here's how you can do that. And you choose if you want to save it as an HTML or copy to the clipboard. Finally, you can use Zotero in Word. And for this, all you do is drag and drop the information to your Word document, and it will instantly create it in the citation style you've chosen.